Season 3 of GC Positive starts now. Energize! What's the point of college if you can't morph with the medals they give you?
Yahoo!
Well, if I can't morph, I can at least try to look like a hero.
And that's exactly what you are.
Zordon!
No, Zordon is owned by Saban and is part of Saban's Power Rangers. I am his parody and less liable for copyright infringement cousin, Bordon.
Bordon!
GC, a video game is in need of your attention.
No problem, just give me its name and I'm there.
Hurry, for there is no time. You must play Chroma Squad.
Someone's been reading my diary. You know what's super cool? Power Rangers. You know what kind of games rock? RPGs. Wait, hold on. I've got an idea. You see where I'm going with this? Huh? Ugh, Saban. Alright, it's fine. Just get in there. Chroma Squad is a tactical RPG. Nowadays, that's just a fancy word for Fire Emblem, but this has Power Rangers. We gotta teach the kids about friendship and working together, and get them to buy our toys. The premise goes, a bunch of stunt actors for a Sentai show get tired of the redundant scripts they're forced to work with and quit to open their own studio to start their own Sentai show. Who are these stalwart heroes of creativity and ambition? You decide. The first thing you do in Chroma Squad is choose the actors that will fill your squad's 5 roles. There's the lead, the scout, the assault, the assist, and my personal favorite as a kid, the techie. All the potential actors have their own traits that affect their starting stats, as well as different salary costs, and because you can assign any actor to any role, you can end up with an interesting array of characters. Imagination plays well with the many combinations of a team you can make. Putting an actor with detrimental stats for a techie in that role could create the headcanon that your techie character is clumsy or has constantly malfunctioning equipment. Or how about putting a low HP actor in the lead role and picturing them play their character as a poser that just happened to end up leading a team of Sentai heroes? These things, along with being able to name your squad and change their catchphrases, are only the first couple of steps Chroma Squad takes to let the show you're making actually feel like the show you're making. And every show needs an audience. Every level in Chroma Squad is another episode with an opportunity to win your audience over. All of the actions you can take during fights can add to or take away from the size of the audience that episode has. The usual tactical actions like killing enemies, moving across a stage, and using a skill attracts an audience, all fine and well, but they won't bring in the massive adoring fans you want. That's cut and dry, that's boring. They can get that anywhere else. But look at us in our flashy Sentai suits with all these cool weapons and stuff. That's another thing. You don't start the episode dressed to impress. You gotta earn it by getting a large enough audience so that when you do transform, it has the proper impact that it should. And you can do that in a couple of ways, the first being teamwork actions. At any time during their turn, your squad members can skip the rest of their actions to prep for a teamwork action. When ready for teamwork, your other squad members can use that squad member as a jump pad to extend their movement range or attack enemies together for tons of extra damage. The more of your squad that join in the attack, the more damage you'll do. Doing these cool moves earns you a bigger audience each time you do them, and the second method to attracting more viewers is clickbaiting your episode titles. I mean, following the director's instructions. Yeah. These are challenges that show up in every episode, like beating all the minions before killing a boss monster, or vice versa in some cases. Completing these instantly fills a huge chunk of your audience meter while at the same time changing the way you use each turn. If you're aiming to max your audience retention every episode, then you'll want to beat all of these challenges. But once you have enough audience members, it's time to don those costumes and unleash the power of Henshin on your enemies. I mean stunt actors, they're people in costumes. No one is seriously getting hurt, I think. Once transformed, your squad has access to their weapons and their special role abilities, not to mention just all around more powerful. Even better, they can use their weapons during teamwork attacks, and those attacks attract even more audience members than their solo variants. But I know what you're going to say. GC, you always say some form of, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, but I'm always right, aren't I?
What happens if you initiate a teamwork attack with the whole team? What are you, stupid or young? You ain't never seen a Power Ranger? What's the matter with you? Every Sentai team needs a finishing move. Your strongest attack, but not necessarily the one you should always use. How bad would your Sentai team look if they used their finishing move and it didn't kill the boss? Or even worse, if they used it on a jobber monster that it didn't need to get used on? Your audience would hate it the same way we all hate when the hero uses the same move over and over to beat the bad guys, or when a show uses the same shot so often it becomes a jarring mess. Should you use your sword attack now? Or maybe later when it's less practical but produces a bigger audience payoff? Do you want to risk the extra turns that a unit might get KO'd in, subsequently losing audience members so you can execute a finishing move that will get you more? This is the kind of thing that separates bland tactical games from good tactical games, and why Chroma Squad belongs in the latter half. It isn't about killing the bad guys on the screen. Okay, it's a small part about killing the bad guys on the screen, but it's not what's most important. In XCOM, it's about trying to keep your precious investments alive. Fire Emblem keeps its dynamic fresh with recruitable units and a variety of mission objectives amongst 1,000 other little things that add up. And Chroma Squad challenges you to weigh form over function. All of these are about risk and reward, but most of them applaud you for being efficient and not the other way around. But here comes Chroma Squad, the hottest new girl in town, and she's all like, "Nuh-uh, I'm not gonna fall for the same lines you gave those other hoes, shit." If you're hardcore into tactical games and you want to do well in this game, you have to redefine what efficient means. It truly does make it a different kind of game. Maybe not by a lot, but enough that you're doing something different than what you're used to. What is it exactly that makes gaining these bigger audiences so important anyway? What do they do? What audience members do for any show? Create income.
Hey yo, since I hit 100 subscribers, I was able to buy myself... Well, I don't really make money off of these videos, so I haven't been able to buy myself anything.
GC, I've detected a monster causing havoc in a suburban home.
Somebody's house. Is that all we could afford?
As a single Sentai Ranger with no morph powers, this is the only kind of work I can give you.
Oh yeah, alright. You got a point. Let's go!
Something Chroma Squad never lets you forget? You're making a TV show. And that means managing a hell of a lot more than just action scenes. After every episode, your audience rating gets converted to cash, and a certain amount of them become actual fans of the show. You can use the money to invest in better studio equipment like better cameras, a bigger green screen, and those things give your squad better stats, affect enemy stats, or help you attain larger audiences. But you can also use that money to buy better costumes for your actors, which improves their fighting stats. Each of these classes have different advantages and kinds of skills, so you obviously want to equip them with items that help their specialization stand out. Or you can spend the money on a marketing team. The one you pick is up to you, and there's a constantly growing selection with varied pricing. Depending on the company you pick, you can activate little boosts using your fan power that do an entire spectrum of different things. So you've got your studio, your marketing team, and the costumes for your actors to invest in. Great! How much money do you get per episode? Well, if it's anything like real micro-budget productions, not nearly enough. It's called balance, and Chroma Squad's got it. She's also broke as fuck. Simply put, there's just not enough money to go around, and you have to cut corners where you can. Question is, where? Remember, you're making a TV show. All of this stuff is important. Like my dear old Gram used to say, GC, if you can't get paid, then get creative. Now pour me another drink, you piece of shit. Defeated enemies will sometimes drop bits of their costume, and you can take those pieces and put together your own costumes and props instead of buying them. There's no costumes better than the ones you make from scratch. Literally, the crafted items generate extra random effects that you wouldn't get from the store-bought items, potentially letting you outfit your squad members with better fitting equipment. Like I mentioned with Tokiden, this is an example of good thematic sense. I still don't know what the fuck that means. Something made to fit your specific needs will almost always be better than any store-bought item. You can take your old stuff and recycle it for materials, and even convert lower quality materials into better materials. And if you're really trying to get some good equipment but don't have the materials for it, you can buy boxes of random materials with cash. Crafting is also the only way to improve your mech. Did I mention there's a mech? Yeah, there's a mech, and you have big giant mech fights with big giant monsters. Not much to say other than you have 4 types for each part of your robot, and some of them give you skills during the mech fights. Don't get me wrong, it's fun, it's cool, but there isn't a lot going on there. I'm glad it's there though, because a Sentai game without mech fights is like having erectile dysfunction during sex. There's no climax. You've been a terrific audience, folks. Don't forget to tip your servers. Have a good night. Now think about this for a second. First, the game tells you to focus on being stylish and exciting, but then it pulls you back into making smart decisions based on income and less on extravagance, and you're not bothered by it. In a different game, this would be frustrating and completely back-asswards, but in Chroma Squad, those two mindsets exist in separate parts of the game. Closely related, but not interfering with one another. That means you're always switching between 2 ways of thinking, and that stimulates your brain, makes those neurons fire off, and keeps your hands glued to the controls. In other words, you're engaged, and you're engaged because of that duality Chroma Squad is presenting to you.
Alright, where's the bad guy?
Tremble beneath my awesome power. Humanity will pay for its wasteful ways and bow down to me, Re-Psycho.
Wow, we didn't spend any money on this episode, did we? Make some space on the couch, Tin Man.
What happened to your nice shirt?
Don't worry about that. Is that a PS4? What games you got for that?
But don't you want to fight me?
Nah, I'm pro recycling. Do me a favor, grab me a beer. Chroma Squad constantly blurs the line between reality and fiction. I can never tell whether it's a game about a Sentai show or a game about a Sentai show about a Sentai show. As you play this game, and I hope you do play this game, ask yourself, when my actors are talking about what episode they should film, are they actually still in character? Did I create an actor based on several templates and give them a name? Or did I hire an actor to play a character that has that name that happens to be an actor? It's that line of questioning that was constantly running through my head as I played Chroma Squad, and when you think about things as much as I do, you start to extrapolate from that other questions. What is work to these people? Everything about the show's production is met by the group with optimism, energy, and full-blown confidence. As I tried separating the reality from fiction, I realized that what I was actually trying to do was separate work from enjoyment. Because obviously, any kind of work you do must be met with a begrudging, sarcastic attitude for it to be real work, right? And of course, once I put it into that perspective, I only reminded myself that there doesn't have to be a difference. Work can be fun if you make it fun. For the people in Chroma Squad, and Occasional Beaver, running this studio, making their own costumes and working on expanding their fan base is fun because it's something they want to do. It might sound silly to say that a video game imparted a piece of wisdom to better my life with, but people play video games for a myriad of reasons, and one of mine has always been because they make me think. They make me consider new ways of looking at things or remind me of an important life lesson. For most of my life, video games have been a tool for self-reflection, second only to the fact that they let me live out my disgusting sexual fantasies. What? Who said that? That wasn't me. Well, this was fun.
Every game. You defeated me at every game I own.
You don't have to beat yourself up over it, it's just video games.
I didn't win a single match. I couldn't even win against one Power Ranger.
Okay. I'm gonna go now. Are you gonna be alright and all that?
Mom was right. I'm a terrible monster villain.
Yeah, alright, see you later.
Dudes and dudettes, this game is amazing. There's no other way to put it. The only complaint I have about Chroma Squad is a lack of checkpoints during episodes and having to reload a multi-stage episode because I wanted to complete all of the director's instructions. I also wish we could have created our own enemies for the show, but I know why we can't, and I'm not going to penalize a game for not having a feature I wanted it to have. I cannot recommend Chroma Squad enough. It deserves more love, and you should totally check it out.
And that covers everything I have to say. In case you didn't know it, my name's GC. Remember that you are amazing, and keep on playing positive. Oh, and welcome to Season 3.
These outros are still awful.
Fuck you, Bordon.
Thank you for watching another episode of GC Positive, and welcome to a whole new season of stupid shenanigans with yours truly. We've got more Dragon Quest coming your way. If you need to catch up on that, my video for Dragon Quest VI is down there. And if you're new here or just want to watch me talk about Tokiden in a drunken stupor, why not check out last season's finale? It's pretty good. Maybe my favorite one. As always, there's no pressure to do any of it, but if you want to support the show, then share this video with your friends, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for automatic updates on new videos. And if you're interested in my daily to-dos and sporadic thoughts, feel free to follow me on Twitter. It's pretty much the only social media I use nowadays. Thanks again for watching. Like always, remember that you are amazing, and I'll see you guys later. Oh my god, what is up with the gain on this microphone?